and Peyton is really happy to be back. I'll deal with these dance moms and take whatever they dish out as long as Peyton gets this opportunity to dance with this group. There she is. Let's go tell her the bad news.
I will explain the gossip. Never miss this video. Please subscribe to the channel. You could feel the tension in the air even before the awards were announced. The number was polished. The girls were glowing. The moms were cautiously optimistic. But then it happened, second place. Abby's eyes narrowed. Her lips pursed. Her disappointment was palpable. Flashback to season 4 when the group number just another number placed second. The routine had everything: technique, emotion, story. But it wasn't enough to snag that first place trophy. When the girls returned backstage, they braced for impact. And Abby did not disappoint. "Do you think people remember who came in second?" she snapped, glaring at the girls like they had just lost the Olympics. "No. They remember winners. That's it." And just like that, the tears began. Chloe, always sensitive, was visibly shaken. Kendall avoided eye contact. Even Maddie, the so-called golden child, wasn't safe. Abby's standard wasn't just winning, it was dominating. One person who never let Abby get away with bulldozing the girls' self-esteem was Holly. She didn't care if Abby wanted gold. She cared if her daughter could walk away with her dignity. Cue the infamous Season 2 No One's Safe meltdown, when Nia performed with heart and fire, only to be told that second is the first to lose. Holly exploded. "There's a difference between coaching and crushing a child," she said, standing tall in that iconic confessional moment. "You constantly tell these girls they're not good enough unless they win. That's not just wrong, that's toxic." It was a moment of truth that hit fans hard. Winning might have been the goal, but at what cost? Holly was never afraid to challenge Abby's mindset, especially when it affected Nia's confidence. Being Abby's favorite came with perks: front and center solos, glowing praise, endless chances. But for Maddie, the pressure to always win was crushing. Anything less than first place was a catastrophe. Remember the Season 3 solo showdown, where Maddie danced beautifully but placed second to a local dance prodigy? Abby's reaction? Cold. Maddie looked like she wanted to vanish into the floor. "You just lost to someone you should have beaten," Abby sneered backstage. "That's embarrassing." It didn't matter that the performance was stunning. To Abby, if you weren't walking off with the crown, you might as well have not danced at all. What fans saw in that moment was a heartbreaking truth. Even excellence wasn't enough if it didn't come with a gold-plated trophy. Chloe's story is practically built around being almost good enough. Despite her talent and elegance, Abby treated her like second best, especially when she lost to Maddie. One painful moment that sticks out like a bruise? The dream on a star solo in Season 1. Chloe danced her heart out, placed second, and Abby tore her down like she hadn't just delivered a lyrical masterpiece. "You got beat, Chloe," Abby spat backstage. "You have the same opportunity as Maddie, and you blew it." It was a classic case of damning with disappointment. Abby didn't even need to yell. The tone said it all. And the worst part? Chloe looked crushed. That fragile hope that Abby might finally see her as worthy just disappeared. Ah yes, the dreaded pyramid, where Abby ranked her dancers based on performance, and the difference between top and bottom often came down to that 0.1 point. If you landed in the middle, aka not first, you were treated like dead weight. Week after week, girls like Kendall and Nia were berated for not being on top, while Maddie's top spot was used like a carrot on a stick. But when Maddie didn't land on top, the mood shifted like a thunderstorm. In one episode, Maddie came in third. Abby stormed in the next morning like it was a funeral. "This is a disgrace," she said, pacing dramatically. "We are a winning team. You're not supposed to lose." Winning wasn't a goal. It was an identity, and anything less felt like betrayal. While Abby raged, the mom stewed. You could always count on Christy to pop off with a sarcastic jab. "Apparently, if you're not first, Abby thinks you're garbage," she sniped after one brutal post-competition meltdown. Jill, ever the wild card, tried to keep Kendall in Abby's good graces with bribes and backflips. But even she snapped when Kendall danced beautifully, only to be told she was lucky to get third. How dare you treat her like that after she worked so hard? Jill yelled, storming out of the studio. She doesn't need this. By season 5, even Melissa was starting to see that Abby's win or get out mentality was toxic. When Maddie got second at nationals, Melissa defended her daughter like a mama bear. She did her best. That's all that matters. Cue the gasps. Was Melissa finally turning on Abby? The end times were near. Abby's favorite way to remind the girls that second wasn't good enough? Threatened to replace them. Oh, you came in second? Maybe someone else should dance your solo next week. It wasn't just a scare tactic. Sometimes it was real. When new girls like Kalani or Brinn entered the mix, they were often used to light a fire under the OGs. The message? Win, or make room for someone who will. During season 4, Abby famously told Kendall after a second-place finish, "There are 100 girls who could do what you just did, and better." Cue Kendall's tears. Cue Jill's rage. Cue the viewers at home throwing their popcorn. If you thought Abby was hard on the girls mid-season, just wait until nationals. In the season 3 finale, the ALDC was up against their fiercest rivals, and they lost. Second place. Abby went into full meltdown mode, blaming everyone from the dancers to the mothers to the judges. "They're clearly blind," she barked. "We were robbed." No one was safe. Even Maddie got grilled, despite placing second. "You've set the bar, and then you tripped over it," Abby said in her signature ice-cold tone. That line still echoes in fans' ears. It was the perfect summary of Abby's philosophy. Success isn't about the effort, it's about the win. As the girls got older, they started standing up for themselves, and nothing tested Abby more than when her dancers dared to question the obsession with first place. In season 6, after yet another second-place finish, Brinn finally pushed back. "We danced really well. I'm proud of it." Abby glared. "Proud of second place?" "Yes," Brinn shot back. "Because I tried my best." It was a small moment, but a powerful one. The dancers were learning to value more than just a trophy. And fans? Cheered. That moment signaled a major shift. These girls were more than their placements. They were artists, athletes, young women learning to fight for their worth. Ironically, while Abby preached perfection, her own actions often sabotaged her team. Season 5's Nationals disaster? Abby skipped rehearsals, played favorites, and let chaos reign. And when the ALDC placed second again, the moms were done. You expect the girls to give 100%, but you barely show up. Holly yelled, "You want first place? Act like a leader." And she was right. Abby's obsession with first blinded her to the damage she was doing, not just to the team, but to herself. Her breakdowns became more erratic. Her criticism more cruel. And even the girls who once idolized her, like Maddie, began to see the truth. Abby's obsession with winning was slowly destroying everything. At the end of the day, the ALDC's legacy is a complicated one. Yes, they racked up wins. Yes, they turned out stars. But they also created a culture where losing wasn't just disappointing. It was shameful. Abby's mantra of second is the first to lose echoed through the series like a war cry. It shaped the way the girls saw themselves, and the way fans saw the price of greatness. But those girls? They endured. They triumphed. And many of them went on to shine far beyond the trophies Abby worshipped. So maybe second place isn't for losers after all. Maybe it's just a stepping stone to something bigger. Absolutely. Here's an additional 1,000 words to extend the dance moms. Second place is for losers, Flashback Compilation, Part 5 piece to a full 6,000-word gossip feature, continuing the drama, digging deeper into the rivalries, and giving fans more of what they love. Meltdowns, walkouts, and savage Abby quotes. Let's talk truth. There were times Abby knew the dance was bad, messy, rushed, unpolished. But if it somehow won, suddenly, it was a masterpiece. All sins forgiven. But if that same sloppy number came in second, it was open season. Take the season 4 lyrical group number Amber Alert. The girls barely had time to rehearse. The moms were distracted, and the choreography was questionable at best. But somehow they won. Abby strutted backstage like she'd just won an Oscar. "That's what winners look like," she boasted, completely ignoring the actual execution. Now flash forward 1 week. The group number was clean, emotional, and technically beautiful. But it placed second. "What a waste of my time," Abby muttered, storming out mid-rehearsal the next day. "I don't work this hard to be a loser." So which is it, Abby? Winning at all costs? Or actual artistry? Spoiler: it was never about the art. Just the trophies. When the mini-team made their grand entrance in Season 6, fans thought maybe the pressure would ease off the OGs. Wrong. Abby made it crystal clear. These tiny dancers weren't here to learn. They were here to win. And if they didn't, they were out. One haunting moment came after a clean mini-group performance placed second. Abby's fury was next level. She turned to the 6-year-olds and said, "You need to train harder. Crying isn't going to fix second place." Even the moms looked horrified. Kira whispered, "They're babies, Abby." But Abby didn't flinch. "Then they better start dancing like they're not." It became obvious that Abby didn't care how old you were. If you weren't placing first, you were part of the problem. Kathy Nesbitt-Stein lived to watch the ALDC lose. If her candy apples snagged anything above Abby's girls, she was celebrating like it was New Year's Eve. One iconic moment: Season 3 Nationals. Candy Apple's group came in second, and ALDC placed third. Kathy exploded with glee. "Second place, baby. Second never looked so good." Meanwhile, Abby nearly combusted in the hallway. "You're proud of second? Pathetic." But to Kathy, second place was a win, as long as it was one spot above Abby. That's how deep their rivalry went. It wasn't about gold. It was about beating each other, by any margin. And honestly, that pettiness made for excellent TV. There were plenty of times Abby thought her team deserved first, and when they didn't get it, she'd lash out with her go-to excuse: "The judges were wrong." "Clearly that judge has no dance background," she'd say after a second-place finish. It's political. Sometimes it was debatable. The team could have delivered a flawless number, only to be outscored by a group with a gimmick. But other times, Abby just couldn't take the L. In Season 5, after Maddie's emotional solo "Someone Like You" placed second, Abby stormed into the awards room to confront the judges on camera. The result? Instant scandal. The judges stood their ground. The producers had to step in, and Abby refused to even speak to Maddie afterward. Because in Abby's world, if you don't win, it's not your fault. It's the judges. But if you do win, it's all Abby's brilliance, naturally. No one forgot the time Brinn beat Maddie in a solo head-to-head. It was supposed to be a clean win for Maddie, but Brinn delivered a showstopper and came out on top. Most studios would celebrate that. Not ALDC. Abby was silent after awards. Not a word of congratulations. Just a tense, icy silence that said it all. You weren't supposed to win. When they got back to the studio, Abby gave Maddie another solo. Brinn benched the next week. The message? Don't outshine the favorite. And if you do, you better not get used to it. Some of Dance Mom's most iconic walkouts happened after second-place drama. It wasn't just about the ranking. It was the reaction to the ranking that pushed people over the edge. Who could forget when Kira pulled Kalani mid-season after Abby humiliated her over a second-place finish? "You embarrassed her in front of everyone," Kira snapped. "She's not staying." And then there was Leslie, aka Peyton's mom. When Abby screamed that Peyton's loss cost the team everything, Leslie snapped. "You're not going to bully my kid because she placed second. We're done." Spoiler, they came back. They always do. But those moments proved how deeply Abby's ranking obsession affected everyone, moms included. By the later seasons, the moms weren't even pretending anymore. The studio wasn't a place for growth. It was a minefield. "You come here and hope your kid isn't screamed at for getting second," said Holly in Season 6. "It's not a competition studio. It's a war zone." Even Melissa started tearing up after one awards ceremony. She danced beautifully, but she's sobbing because she didn't win. It was a breaking point. For the girls, for the moms, and even for fans who had watched from the beginning. When winning cost you your confidence, what was the point? Eventually, even Abby's top dancers began realizing that winning wasn't enough. The trophy didn't erase the yelling. The praise never lasted. And the pressure to repeat it? Crushing. Maddie famously said in an interview years later, I felt like if I didn't win, I wouldn't be loved. That hit fans hard. JoJo, another fan favorite, echoed the sentiment in her exit episode. Abby wants robots, not real kids. I'm not a robot. And that was it. The tide had turned. The ALDC may have won dozens of titles, but it had also churned out girls who were done being defined by first or second place. Yes, the title of this compilation is Second Place is for Losers, but as fans know, the real losers were the ones who forgot that dance is about expression, connection, and passion, not just podiums. Abby may have preached that gold was the only thing that mattered, but the girls? They learned to value more. Resilience, friendship, self-worth. And honestly, that's the real win.